This video is sponsored by Squarespace. So I feel like we commonly see characters get disrespected in anime, in One Piece in particular, and it's something that definitely ups the ante on drama or makes the comeback hit that much harder when we see a character get knocked on their knees only to eventually rise up and break the backboard on them. Or in cases like Ramet from Hunter x Hunter. He just had to hold that L. That being said though, it's even crazier when it happens to the main character, even though sometimes it gets a little subverted. But regardless, let's talk about 7 times our boy Luffy got disrespected. I have a long list for Naruto, Bleach, and even Natsu from Fairy Tail, but today we're going to talk about Luffy. And some may say even recently how people were talking about Rob Lucci and him standing a chance against Luffy adds to the disrespect, but we're going to take it all the way back to our boy, one of our favorites, Usopp. We're getting deeper and deeper into the final saga of One Piece, and with the reveal of our friendly neighborhood clown Buggy and him becoming a Yonko, we then ask ourselves, how did this happen? It was actually due to his faithful henchman creating the best ad ever and spreading it out there to the entire world. Damn, I wish I could get a hold of him, but sounds like they really know how to run a business, and I'm sure if they were in our world, they would use today's sponsor, Squarespace. Squarespace gives people a powerful and beautiful online platform from which to create your website, connect with your audience, and generate revenue through gated members-only content, manage your members, send email communications, and leverage audience insights all on one easy-to-use platform. Create a community on your Squarespace website with a fully integrated commenting system that supports threaded comments, replies, and likes. Use their powerful blogging tools to categorize, share, and schedule your posts as well. Extend Squarespace's already powerful e-commerce capabilities with Squarespace extensions. These new third-party tools can help you manage inventory, promote products, streamline bookkeeping, reconcile and file sales tax, and ship items across the globe. Display posts from your social profiles on your website, automatically push website content to your favorite social media channels so your followers can share it too. So go to squarespace.com for a free trial, and when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/B.D.A law to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. So don't wait guys, sign up for Squarespace today. So I think one of the craziest and most impactful times someone flat out disrespected Luffy is when Usopp went to blows with Luffy over the going merry. Now this one still to this day is constantly talked about. That's how crazy the moment was. Regardless of whether or not you were Team Luffy or Team Usopp, I think we can all agree that attempting mutiny against your friend and captain is, well, disrespectful, a literal slap in the face. But I also think this is one of Luffy's more gracious moments where even though his friend and crewmate basically said he wasn't fit to be the captain and then challenged him and then lost, Luffy gave him the going merry. It's definitely a very, very emotional moment and still has a lot of impact today. But I also think this is definitely one of the biggest disrespects Luffy has faced. Next, we have our boy, or gal, if you believe that, Sir or Madame Crocodile. So during Alabasta, we got a lot of great moments, but we also saw an insanely disrespectful moment from Crocodile as well. So Crocodile starts out by not only toying with Luffy, but telling him he's toying with him, referring to Luffy's attempts to land a hit on him as playtime and jokes. After some back and forth, Crocodile sends a sandstorm headed to a small town of Yuba, where the townspeople help the Straw Hats, saying by the time it gets there, it will be so large it will completely wipe them out. And then to add injury to insult, Crocodile not only shish kebabs Luffy with his hook, but holds him up in the air like a little rag doll, like a pig ready to be slaughtered. Not only is it one of the first times we see Luffy get absolutely beaten and overwhelmed, but the level of disrespect is insane. Sir Crocodile, how could you? Next we have Bellamy. And now I think Oda has more than made up for Bellamy's disrespect in this story, but Mocktown was a happy little stop on the journey to be the Pirate King. We got to see pies in the first ziha-ha-ha, but under the rainbows and sunshines on the surface, there was a massively disrespectful moment. While the crew was in the bar looking for information on Sky Island, Bellamy tried to little bro Luffy, asking him, hey, little bro, join my crew. He then, of course, slams his face into the bar and proceeds to have the bar laugh him out. This scene was incredibly wild and wholesome at the same time because it comes full circle to Shanks and Romance Dawn, but at the same time, well, let's just say Bellamy do that to me and I might just be looking like Lucky Roo. It wouldn't have happened to me is all I'm saying. Personally, you know the rest. It's one of those few times we haven't seen Luffy fight back, but when he finally did, boy, was it satisfying. Next, this was cold, but this is Aokiji. So I feel like Aokiji has come up a lot recently, but that just means hopefully we get something cool with him soon. That being said, his introduction was incredibly cold. All right, it's getting overused, but it wasn't just cold because he's an ice man. I mean, he is cool as hell cold, but then he proceeded to absolutely mercy rule Luffy. So we know that Aokiji comes to apprehend Nico Robin, but Luffy challenges him to a one-on-one. Aokiji freezes him just a bit in his left arm, just to touch a frostbite, and then proceeds to freeze him whole. And then he could have killed him right there, but he just walks off into the sunset like nothing ever happened, leaving Luffy to thaw out. It may not be as disrespectful as some of the other events we've discussed, but it was definitely a huge ego blow. Next we have a Blackbeard. So the Marineford Saga is an absolute roller coaster, and I think a lot of people in the community look at it as the best series of arcs to this day. Just peak. There's some sky high ups and some very, very painful downs in a good way, but in a bad way at the same time. But one of those downs come in the form of Blackbeard during Impo Down, okay? Blackbeard came to Impo Down to recruit the infamous Shiryu, along with some others, but during his time, he ended up bumping into Luffy, where he not only told him that he was the one who turned in Ace, but it's because Ace stood in his way instead of letting him kill Luffy so that he could become a warlord. Now, of course, Luffy was ready to exchange blows after that. I mean, who wouldn't be? He was talking shit on your brother, but in terms of OP smack talk, that was an absolutely heinous exchange. But unfortunately, that moment was cut short. Regardless, I think that moment is absolutely one of the worst times Luffy got disrespected, because Jinbei had to save him and say, yo, little bro, this is not what you want right now, because Jinbei definitely saved his pride a little bit, because we all know Luffy would have gotten folded like an origami if he continued fighting against Blackbeard. You know what I mean? Next, we have Sanji. Now, Sanji on Whole Cake Island is a divisive moment. So divisive that Crunchyroll gave him 2 episodes for that moment. Get it? Divisive. Okay. A certain subgroup of the OP fandom still talks about what would have happened if a certain someone was on Whole Cake Island. I don't want to call any names or any colors. Moss said Zoro Green. Anyways, we go to Whole Cake Island because Sanji's supposed to be married off to pudding. There's some more chains of events, but his family Germa, they're ruthless killers. So when Luffy pulls up and confronts him in front of his family, not only does Sanji denounce the Straw Hats, he calls Luffy a sorry ass ugly. Okay, he calls the crew third-rate pirates. And for all intents and purposes, he proceeds to kick the cowboy crap out of Luffy. This was very hard to watch considering Nami was watching and the pain that Sanji was going through. And of course, it was an attempt to protect his friends, but you can't help but wonder if there was some pent-up aggression behind those words, because wow. I'll reveal a secret to you guys. Do you guys remember Usopp, the first person who disrespected Luffy? I low-key thought Sanji disrespected Luffy back then when he basically kicked Luffy because he was talking smack about Usopp. Yes, I get it. He was trying to save Luffy from saying things he would regret. But I was like, bro, why would you kick your captain? That should have been noticed, because that was somewhat a foreshadow of what was to come, because he absolutely clobbered his captain, and you saw the pain on his face after that, but that was major disrespect. And next, this is last, but of course not least, the King of Beasts, Kaido. Now, Kaido didn't just knock Luffy out once, but twice. When the two first faced off, Kaido actually one-shots Luffy. I mean, Luffy was coming off a high, fighting against someone like Katakuri, and if that's not disrespect, I don't know what is. He had future sight, he had just overcome the undefeatable man, but not only that, he slams his Bagua into the ground, and then he asked, what kind of king did you say you would be? I mean, wow. Gomu Gomu no what? I mean, wow. Bro, Kaido isn't just the king of beasts, he's definitely the king of trash talk as well. Even after he threw Luffy off of the island, he said, I should have taken your head so that they could believe me. I mean, your technique left a lot to be desired. Bro, I don't know about y'all, but in my opinion, Kaido holds the top spot for disrespecting Luffy, no contest. Now, there are a few others that have disrespected Luffy that we'll mention here. Honorable mentions, typically they go first, but we're gonna do it last today because, hey, why not? I'm gonna be honest. The honorable mentions are basically half of his crew. Sometimes Usopp, mostly Nami, even times Momonosuke, and some of his disrespect to Luffy. But we can talk about Katakuri, right? Where Katakuri was able to talk smack basically the entire first half before the merienda and one-up Luffy in regards to his attacks and make his attacks better using his own devil fruit. And this isn't disrespect, but I mean, I don't know about Luffy, but personally, you guys know the rest. But guys, that's about it. You can give me your thoughts. What is your number one moment? Who's disrespected Luffy the most? I feel like a lot of people are going to say Sanji, but Usopp took it a bit far, didn't he? Let me know your thoughts. But shout out to Tekken for being awesome and hosting this event. Donate for a great cause.